Okay, so when you think about nutrition, about, eating healthy, there's always this one big word that comes up, right? Discipline.
Yeah, discipline, willpower.
Yeah.
Everyone seems convinced that's the secret sauce. Like, you just need this massive supply of it all the time.
A constant mental fight.
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
well, based on all the research we've looked at, that whole mental battle, that's kind of why people struggle.
How so?
The sources are pretty clear that just relying on willpower, um, it's maybe a flawed approach. The really counterintuitive idea here, and this is key for our deep dive,
Yeah,
willpower isn't really the issue. Your environment is.
the environment.
Yeah, your surroundings.
Mhm.
Right now, they're probably set up, designed even, to steer your choices way before you even feel hungry or get a craving.
Okay, wow. That really flips the script. It's not about blaming yourself.
Right. It moves away from, I don't have enough discipline, and towards, okay, what's wrong with the system around me? It's about problem solving, not personal failing.
So what's the plan then? What's our mission for this deep dive?
The mission is basically to give you the tools for a full, like, 4-part food environment audit.
4 parts, okay.
Yeah, we're not just talking about what's in the fridge. We need to look at the whole picture.
Mhm.
The physical space, sure, but also your social world, your digital feeds, even your emotional landscape. All these things influence what you eat.
So we're learning to be systems designers
Mm,
for our own health.
that's a great way to put it. Designing a system that supports your goals instead of fighting against you.
Okay, I like that. Let's dive in then. If success isn't about pure motivation, but system design, where do we start? The most obvious system seems to be the kitchen itself, right?
Absolutely. The sources call the kitchen your silent coach. Seriously. The physical layout, what you see, what's easy to grab, it dictates so much.
It leverages that behavioral science idea of reducing the mental effort.
Exactly. Minimizing cognitive load.
Yeah.
Think about it. When you're tired or stressed, your brain wants the easiest option, always.
The path of least resistance.
Totally. It's called the law of least effort. If grabbing those chips on the counter is easier than peeling an orange from the back of the fridge, guess what your tired brain chooses?
That chips every time, even if I swore I wouldn't earlier.
Right. Research shows you're like 3 times more likely to eat food that's just sitting out, visible and easy to reach. So the typical failure environment has, soda, leftover pizza right there at eye level.
Okay, so we need to flip that. Make the healthy choice the lazy choice. Let's get practical. What are the specific steps from the sources for this physical audit, starting with the fridge?
Step 1, the fridge audit. Super high impact, pretty low effort actually. You move the good stuff. Pre-cut veggies, fruit, lean proteins like yogurt or cooked chicken, put it right at eye level, center stage.
So that's absolute first thing you see.
Yep. Cuts down the decision friction. You open the door, boom, healthy options staring you in the face. Makes grabbing them way easier than digging for something less ideal hidden in a drawer.
Makes sense. Okay, next up, the pantry, which, let's be honest, can be a real danger zone.
Oh yeah, the pantry's a big one. The trick here is containers. It sounds simple, but it's psychological.
How so?
Put your healthy staples, oats, nuts, whole grains, beans, into clear, maybe even nice-looking containers. Makes them visually appealing, encourages you to use them.
Okay.
But the junk food, cookies, chips, all that highly processed stuff, put it in opaque bins. Hide it. Maybe even on a high shelf, out of sight, out of mind, almost.
So you're adding friction. If I can't see the cookies and I have to reach up, open a non-see-through box.
You're breaking the automatic loop. You actually have to think about it, make a conscious choice instead of that mindless grab.
Got it. What about countertops? They're always visible.
Countertops need to be positive cues. Keep a bowl of fruit right there. Apples, bananas, oranges, things you can just grab. It's like a constant little healthy nudge.
And hide the other stuff.
Definitely. Hide the snack bags, the candy dish. If it's out, you'll graze without thinking. If it's tucked away in that opaque bin in the pantry, well, it takes effort.
Right. Okay, last physical zone. The freezer. We don't always think of it strategically.
Big mistake. The freezer is your secret weapon against decision fatigue, especially later in the day.
That I'm too tired to cook moment.
Exactly, that 7 p.m. slump. You need to stock it smartly. Frozen vegetables are essential. Pre-portioned lean meats, maybe some healthy single-serve meals you prepped.
So when you're exhausted, the easy option is already there and it's healthy.
Precisely. It stops you from defaulting to, ordering expensive high-calorie takeout on your phone because deciding what else to make feels overwhelming.
Okay, so the big principle for the kitchen is Design the easiest path to be the healthiest path. Make the good stuff effortless.
You nailed it. Design the path of least resistance to align with your goals, but the kitchen is just one piece.
Right, because we don't live in a bubble.
Yeah,
There are people and information overload.
exactly. Which brings us to the next audit level, the social environment.
Okay, this feels potentially more complicated. We're talking relationships now, not just rearranging shelves.
It definitely is. But the sources have this really powerful idea. You are the average of the 5 people you eat with most.
Wow. Okay. Explain that.
It's all about normalization. What do the people you regularly share meals with consider normal? Do they normalize constant overeating? Or maybe obsessive dieting and cheat days? Or do they value consistency in whole foods?
And habits rub off on you.
Immensely. Their behavior, their conversations about food, it all shapes your perception of what's acceptable, what's expected.
Yeah, I can feel that. Like if you try to order something light and everyone else is going big, it feels weird.
That social pressure is real. Now, the advice isn't to just, ditch all your friends.
Okay, good.
But you do need to actively, consciously curate your influences.
Curate influences. What does that look like practically?
It means being open about your goals with supportive friends. And crucially, setting clear boundaries with people who might, maybe unintentionally, undermine your efforts.
Boundaries. That can be tough, especially with family or colleagues you see all the time. How do you do that without causing a fight?
The key is framing. The sources suggest framing it as your system, your boundary, not a judgment on them.
Give me an example.
Okay, say a coworker is always pushing office treats on you. Instead of just saying no thanks, which can feel rejecting, you could say something like, thanks so much for offering, but I'm really focused on sticking to my plan right now. It's important for my goals.
So you're stating your need, not criticizing their cake.
Exactly. Or, I appreciate you thinking of me, but that doesn't fit into my system today. My health decisions aren't really up for negotiation right now. Firm, but about you, not them.
That feels more manageable. Protecting your system. Okay, that's the social piece. What's next? You mentioned the digital world.
Right, the digital environment. Think of it as your digital diet. What are you consuming with your eyes and mind when you scroll?
Oh boy. Yeah. Recipes, sure, but also those crazy cheap meals, maybe fitness influencers with impossible standards.
Precisely. Is your feed full of confusing noise? Fad diets contradicting each other? Images that trigger serious cravings or make you feel bad about yourself?
It can definitely do that so easily.
And those digitally triggered cravings, they feel just as real as physical hunger sometimes. So the audit here is crucial.
What are the practical steps? Just delete Instagram.
Maybe not that drastic for everyone, but definitely a detox is step 1. Unfollow accounts that make you feel comparison, confusion, or constant cravings. Be ruthless.
And replace them.
Yes. Follow people who actually educate and reinforce your values. Registered dietitians, maybe chefs focused on whole foods, behavioral scientists who talk about habits, people who align with consistency.
Okay, unfollow the noise, follow the support. What about apps? You mentioned friction earlier.
Apps are huge. Remember the goal. Make healthy easy, make impulsive hard.
Okay.
So if you want to cook more, maybe put your grocery list app or a meal planning app right on your home screen. Super easy access, frictionless.
And the tempting ones.
The food delivery apps. If those are your weakness, bury them. Stick them in a folder, maybe on the 3rd page of your apps, or honestly, delete them.
So that extra step, having to search for it or re-download it?
That little bit of friction, it gives your logical brain a few seconds to catch up and say, wait, do I really need to order this? It disrupts the impulse.
It's like building a little digital moat around your goals.
Great analogy. A digital moat. And that moat needs to protect you from maybe the trickiest influence of all, our own internal state.
The final audit piece.
The emotional environment, this is the internal stuff, stress, boredom, fatigue, things that don't necessarily come from outside, but massively impact our choices.
Yeah, the physical, social, digital fixes. They don't stop you from feeling stressed after a long day.
Exactly. And when those feelings hit stress, boredom, tiredness, what's often the easiest, quickest way to feel a little better, even temporarily.
Food, especially comforting food, sugar, fat.
Right. Those foods literally trigger a short-term reward response in the brain. It's not really about hunger in those moments. It's using food to cope, to regulate an uncomfortable feeling.
So if we know we do the stress eat, boredom eat, how does environmental design help? We can't just redesign our feelings.
We can't eliminate the feelings, no. But we can change the automatic response. We can build non-food coping mechanisms directly into our environment. Make them the easy option when emotion strikes.
Okay, how? What does that look like physically?
The sources give some great concrete examples. It's about placing cues for alternatives.
Like,
Okay, say late-night stress snacking is your pattern. Instead of having snacks easily accessible, maybe put a journal and a pen right there on the kitchen counter or your coffee table.
so the visual cue isn't food, it's processing the stress.
Exactly. It prompts a different action. Write it out instead of eating it down. Substitute the behavior.
That's clever. What about boredom eating?
If boredom is the trigger, put something active near where you usually relax. Maybe a kettlebell or some resistance bands next to the TV couch.
So instead of grabbing snacks during commercials,
The kettlebell's right there, visible, easy. It cues a quick burst of movement. You're channeling that restless energy into activity, not eating.
dealing with the feeling differently. Got it. There was a third one too about fatigue and routine.
Yes, this ties back to decision fatigue. Build a non-food pattern into your routine to head off problems, like a short, consistent walk right after dinner.
How does that help?
It helps manage both stress and fatigue before you get to that late-night danger zone where willpower is low and snack cravings are high. The routine itself becomes part of your supportive environment. It interrupts the cycle.
So the environment isn't just physical objects, it's also the routines and systems we build.
Absolutely. You're designing a system that acknowledges food is emotional, it is complex, but gives you immediate, easier alternatives than using food purely to cope.
If your environment doesn't offer those easy alternatives.
Then food often remains the default coping strategy. It's the path of least resistance again.
Wow. Okay, so wrapping this all together, the 4 audits: physical, social, digital, emotional.
The big takeaway is really this. Forget grinding it out with sheer willpower. That's exhausting and often fails. Success in nutrition is about making consistency feel almost inevitable.
By designing a better system around you.
Exactly. Your environment in all these different dimensions is like this silent coach, constantly shaping your choices, every single bite. You just need to make sure it's coaching you towards your goals, not away from them.
It brings us right back to where we started. It's not about finding more motivation, it's about building smarter systems. And this food environment, that's the first, most immediate system you actually have direct control over.
You can literally start changing it today. Which leads to a final thought, something for you to chew on, so to speak, after this.
Okay?
If your environment is subtly making food decisions for you, where else might this be happening? Think about other areas of your sleep habits, maybe how productive you are, even your finances. Could there be hidden environmental systems there, working against your best intentions, making self-control harder than it needs to be?
So the solution might not be more discipline there either.
It might just be the better system design. An environmental audit beyond the kitchen. Something to think about. Go audit your world.